I am Ariel Lawhon, and my novel is Flight of Dreams.
Tell me about Flight of Dreams. How did you decide to chart the last flight of the Hindenburg?
It was an accident, actually. It was a newspaper article I'd clipped about 9 years ago. And it was an article about the last flight, and on it was the image of the Hindenburg, that really famous image we're all familiar with. And the airship is in flames, and it's very horrific and startling. But if you look closely at that image, you will see very small specks. And those specks are people that are running and jumping from the airship. And it wasn't until that moment that I realized people actually survived. And I wanted to know who they were and what that last flight was like for them.
One of the things that is very interesting to me is the details that you put in, the sizes of the sleeping quarters, what they looked like, the bar, the meals that were served. Talk a little bit about the details that you picked to make this come alive.
All of them accurate, all of them pulled straight from historical accounts, partly because I like getting it right. I'm enough of a perfectionist that I want to make sure I get it right. But
Sure.
I also don't want to get hate mail, and I will,
Of course.
because it's such a well-known event, and there are so many historians and avid airship followers that they know this. They know these details, they know those names, they know those events, they know the mechanics of the airship. And it was sort of a nod to them as well, sort of a, here's your ship.
Here's your ship.
There was actually, on this last flight, a family that had a handful of young children, and they brought this toy truck with them. It was sort of a motorized truck. It would wind it up and it would go across the floor. The problem was it sparked. It would send out these tiny little sparks, and these little boys were playing with this
I
motorized
remember
car.
cars like that.
It got confiscated.
Yeah, I bet.
And afterward, many, many days later, as they were cleaning up the wreckage, they found that little toy truck melted in the wreckage.
Maybe that's what the spark was.
Who knows?
Thank you so much for being here today. You are such a delight, and I just love having you.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
It really was. And thank you for watching A Word on Words. I'm JT Ellison. Keep reading. Where do you write?
Up until about 6 months ago, anywhere where there was a flat space and no toys.
Because you have
4 children.
Four.
4 boys.
4 boys,
With lots
which
of Legos.
you call the Wild Rumpus.
The Wild Rumpus.
Which is a great name.
Unless
for
they're
them.
behaving badly, then they're the barbarian horde.